All right. Hi, everybody in first hour. Again, I apologize for mixing up that example C so badly for you. That's definitely not my intention. So let's fix it. So in your notes on the left-hand side, I know we had steps 1 through 5. One thing that we missed, and this would help alleviate any other concerns you have with this factoring process, is what's highlighted over here on the left. So would you please find somewhere you could either add it at the top maybe, or just put a little star and say check for a common factor first. The unique thing about your A value when it isn't 1 is that it's possible to factor out numbers before you even start steps 1 through 5. So in example A, we had 7, 20, and 3. There isn't a number that all three of those coefficients have in common. So we didn't have to worry about that process. In example B, we had 3, 5, and 12. So again, there wasn't anything that they had in common. But example C, and on a couple on your worksheet today, you're going to have that. So let's look at example C in more detail. We have an 8 for the A value, 38 for B, and 10 for C. So out of all three of those coefficients, they have a common factor. We could factor 2 out of all three of those numbers. And what that allows you to do is keep that in your final answer, which you'd need, but then it doesn't mess with you when we do the A times C step. So watch this. If we factor a 2 out of all three of those coefficients, the 8x squared would factor down to 4x squared. The 38x would factor to 19, and the 10 would become minus 5. Keeping that 2 out in front helps us keep it in our final answer. And now with the 4x squared plus 19x minus 5, now we can do the A times C split to get B, and our numbers will be smaller to work with. 4 times negative 5 would be negative 20. So numbers that go into 20 would be obviously 1 and 20. We could do 2 and 10. We could even do 4 and 5. For those three pairs of factors, we want to multiply them to get negative 20 and have them add to get positive 19 in the middle now. So if we do the very first pair, 1 and 20, and we make 1 negative, they'd multiply to get negative 20, but add to get positive 19. So still keeping that 2 out in front, we're now going to split the parenthesis into the x minus p and the x minus q with the 1 and the 20, if I can get 20 to fit there. With that 4 out in front, we need to put 4 underneath both of them. So hopefully this is starting to look familiar again. 1 over 4 doesn't reduce. We're going to put the 4 then right out in front of the x. So now we'll have 4x minus 1, which we had before. And then for the 20 over 4, that reduces to x plus 5, which we had before. But there's that 2 that's out in front that needs to stay in our final answer. So ultimately, everybody, that's where you want to get with this one. Again, if there's a number for A that isn't 1, see if you can factor a coefficient out of all three terms that they have in common. You'll see this again on your worksheet if you look at number 15. So I noticed on number 15 as I was creating the answer key, 15 is 20x squared minus 54x, we have some big coefficients here, plus 36. Very similar to example C in our notes, A, B, and C all have a common factor. 2 goes into those three values. If we factor the 2 out, we would get 10x squared minus 27x plus 18. So still kind of some big numbers to work with, but they should be more manageable than the 20, the 54, and the 36. So now do your 5 steps from here to factor and keep that 2 in your final answer. And that should do it. See if that helps get you through your worksheet. If we have any questions, we do have time in class tomorrow to go over them. So again, I apologize, but I hope that we can kind of move forward from this. Thanks.